our spirit? What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Good Monday morning, everybody. This is DeEtte here, School Through Spirit with the Edge Network. How was everybody today? I am live again, guys. I am live again. Remember, this show is about bringing awareness to people's lives, just to kind of ponder a few things and see if it helps. If not, throw it out with the bathwater. It's okay. So as we always do, good morning, Tim. As we always go, we always start with a little bit of Neil Donald Walsh. Good morning, Keith. Because I find him to be very, very inspiring. And our 5-card stud oracle deck is the Elemental Oracle by Stacey Demarco. This is a Rockpool deck. Very cool. Awesome about this. My granddaughter, actually, Addie, picked this for today's show. Unfortunately, guys, they're back in school. They've actually been in school for about, gosh, this is starting their third week. So those recordings were very much them. Let's get started. Okay. Have to get over there. Perfect. So let's get started here. It says, oh my gosh, guys, there's a lot to read today. A lot to read. But you know what? A lot has happened. I had to do the last 2 weeks as recordings. So a lot has happened. So this is going to be very interesting. It says, what makes life better? Grandkids make life better. Living a better life is a proper incentive. Creating a better life for your children is a good incentive. But the question is, what makes for a better life, and how do you define better? How do you define life? If you define better as bigger, better, more money, power, sex, and stuff, and if you define life as a period elapsing between birth and death in this, your present existence, you're doing nothing to get out of the trap that has created your planet's predicament. Yet, if you define better as a larger experience and greater expression of your grandest state of being, and life as an eternal, outgoing, never-ending process of being, you may yet find your way. A better life is not created by the accumulation of things, and most of you know this. All of you say you understand it, yet your lives and decisions you make, which drive your lives, have as much to do with things as anything else, and usually more. You strive for things, you work for things. When you get some of those things you want, you never let them go. It is because most humankind believes that the obtainment and retainment of things creates a better life, that enormous proportions of the population are still struggling for simple physical survival. Such moral obscenities are more commonplace in a primitive society, where the purpose of life is misunderstood, and the necessary shift is yet to be made toward what truly constitutes, oh my God, I can't read today, or any day, I guess, constitutes a better life for all the people of the world. Now, this really kind of gets like, oh my gosh, what are we talking about? For me, this is huge. Okay. And it's honestly something I've been kind of evolving to over the last few years, but not quite understanding where I'm evolving to. And maybe today's the day that I finally get it and I go, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Okay. So let's kind of break this down. Let's break this down kind of like we do every week. Let's break it down to the simple and kind of bring up as to why. Okay. For myself, I want to start where it kind of ended and not where it began. Okay. Because that part that we gather things, and then we don't want to let go, that ends up being huge. I mean, that ends up being huge. Guys, at one point, I had literally a refrigerator box. You know how long that is? Full of boots because I was such a boot collector. And you know what? My daughter taught me at one point in life, because literally at this point in life, and I realized how many boots I had. That didn't include the heels, the sandals, and all the rest. That was just boots. And I found that out because we were moving into a very small space, a small apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. Now we had from a 4-bedroom house that had a living room and a family room, very large kitchen, 2-car garage that was attached, the whole 10 yards, and including a 12,000 square foot shop. Okay. That's what I had at one time. And through life, things started to happen. And that shop, it went bye-bye. Why? Because I couldn't handle it anymore. If you really want to know, the person I was in cahoots with on that, it really got to be too much, and they weren't doing anything. And I just said, you know what? I'm not taking on this anymore. So I let it go. And then it was time to get rid of the house because I went, you know what? Again, too much. I don't need all this. It was myself, my daughter at the time, and we moved into a smaller 2-bedroom apartment. Now we were renting the house, so the renting option really didn't change much. And back then, rent prices weren't huge, so really the price wasn't different. But when we were moving into this space, I had entirely way too much crap. I'll tell you what, I was thinking apples and oranges, cupboard versus blah, blah. I'd have the cupboard space. Okay, what was I going to do? Put it in a box, store it? I went, you know what? No, I don't need most of the gadgets I have. I don't need all this crap. And you know what I did? I started dwindling it away. Right away in the move, half of it gone. And over the month or so of being there, I started dwindling more of that. My clothes, I had so many clothes I was never going to wear. Got rid of a lot of those. The boots, bye-bye, kept a couple pairs. I really just kind of dwindled everything down to what fits in the space and what do I really need? And what are those few things I want to keep? But I recognized, and this is the first time I had recognized, that I did not need as much stuff as I had, nor did I use all that stuff that I had. I kept it because I didn't want to let go of it because I got it. It was mine. And I found out I could just let it go. And it really started this whole process for me. Okay. It started this process to go, you know what? What do I really need in life? And let's work towards that. Not all the extra stuff. Because even to today, I find that I don't need it all. Twice a year, I go through my closet and I get rid of a lot of stuff that I haven't worn over the last 6 months. If I haven't worn it, why am I holding on to it? For that just in case? It doesn't make sense to me. Not anymore. So I start to shed it. Do you naturally buy, you naturally buy a few pieces here and there. Most people do. Nothing major. But those few pieces kind of replace what you've gotten rid of. It's kind of that perfect balance. Okay? I also find, and this becomes huge, when you start to go through your stuff and you start to declutter, you declutter also the energy around you. And that's when life begins to happen. So let's look at this. Declutteration gives you space. It cleans. It cleans not only your personal space, it also cleans your energy. Okay? It cleans everything around you. And life starts to get better. And we're talking about life that you're currently existing in. Why? Because you've essentially saged it. And I won't even lie, it's essentially a sage. You are going through and you are going, I am cleansing my space. I am ridding it of things that are occupying that no longer suit me. And you're giving them to somebody else and or throwing them away, whatever suits you. Rummage sell it, I don't care. It's just removing it. And naturally, you start to feel better. you also start to become a lot more productive. Your ideas start to manifest. Life begins a little bit faster. Things just happen. And it's amazing because really, when you have something this tight in your hand, you have no room for anything else. I mean, see, I can't get in there. It's like, yeah, not going to get in. But when you do this and you let a bunch of stuff go, you have room to fill it. And that's what you do. You fill it and you fill it with other things. Now, when you learn to do this on a regular basis, now we're still talking about the existence today, but when you learn to start removing things from your life on a day-to-day existence, something magical starts to happen. And you start to realize, even though essentially you're feeling like you're doing it for this life and this existence. Good morning, Lee. What you're doing is affecting your soul. You're affecting your soul. Your soul starts to get what it needs. Now, remember, we've talked a lot about literally our soul development, our soul growth. We've talked a lot about that stuff, haven't we? You know? So let's take that word life and expand it. Let's expand that word. Because life, as this says in here, a lot of times our life, we look at it from birth until death. That's an existence at this present moment, guys. It really is. It's an existence where we are right now. So let's expand that into our soul. When we separate, when we just go boom. Now think about this. In this existence, in this life, this time of life, this existent portion, we're always prepping for the future and for our future death even. Because what do? We're born, we're developed, our parents are working with us to be better people towards our future because you know what? They're already thinking of our future. They're thinking about what they want us to be. And it might just be good citizens, or it might be doctors and lawyers and nurses, who knows? But they start to prep us for a better life. And then we go to school. Okay? And we learn things. Do we need all that knowledge? Honestly, probably not. I mean, really, when we get down to it, do we all need to know the history? Do we all need to know art classes? Do we all need to know the 7 classes a day that kids have to take for? It used to be 12 years. Now it's up to 14 because they've added pre-K. But do we really need most of that knowledge? Probably not. But what is happening is they're starting to gear us for a future that they're not quite sure it's going to be. So they literally go and they add so much in. And then we go to college. And of course, we've been prepping for college because that college is going to give us a better life later on. So we go to college and we do more prepping and we do more learning. It's huge. Matter of fact, in the United States, we added a ton of classes that you don't even need for your subject. You don't even need it. Point blank, they taught me, demanded I did economics to be a nurse. And at the time, it made sense. But you know what happened when I got into nursing? Out the window. It went out the window. Because you need just as many bandages as you need. You need to give the pills that they order. You need to do all this thing. And I will tell you what, at the end of the day, they don't care how much you're pulling because they're putting a price on it. So therefore, I didn't need economics. So there's a lot we put into there. And then we graduate and we try to find the best job suited for us so we can start making a life. Okay? And we're constantly now on that. We're trying to do better for us for our life. And what does that mean? We're looking to our retirement. We're looking to get married. We're looking to have those children. Okay? We are looking then for our retirement. We're working towards what we're going to give our children when we die. We're looking towards our funeral. We're constantly looking towards a better source to live our life in this lifetime, straight up to our death. But we stop there. We stop there. And this whole time, we will say we're trying to be a better person. But are we actually acting upon that? Are we actually working towards being a better person? Not really. You wake up and decide you're a better person today. You're going to be a better person. You wake up and you decide every time I see somebody, I'm going to smile. I'm going to look at them with brighter eyes. I'm going to acknowledge people. That's being a better person. Okay, all of that is being a better person. But honestly, high school, college, kids, retirement, death is never going to make you a better person. Those are just acts. Those are just acts. Those are things we do for something that really means nothing at the end. And I know everybody's going to come at me and go, but DeEtte, I don't want to be on the streets when I'm 80. Well, yeah, I get it. I get it. We really have to sit in that place of making money to pay for this, to pay for that. And I get it. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying everybody give up your houses and become homeless. Okay. It's not that. Okay. It's instead look at what if you lived every day for number one today. You lived it for today. And then lived it for the next existence that you're going to be here. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Now let's even break those two parts down. Okay, let's break those two parts down. So let's go for the living for today, living in this moment. Now, yesterday, I will tell you what, although it was an amazing day, I got to spend it with my grandbabies. We went to Great America. We had a great time. We did. But I found myself having moments of irritability throughout the day. There was really no reason for it. There was absolutely no reason for me to be irritable. And when I got home and the babies went to sleep, I thought about my day and I thought, why did I have these moments of irritability throughout the day? And I found when I thought about it and I looked into that, I was irritable at those moments because I stopped being in the moment and I was projecting into later in the day. Literally, before we even got to the park, I got irritable because things set us. We were in the moment. We were living in the moment. And even though we knew our destination was going to be Great America, we were living in the moment and we were having so much fun. We were looking at Halloween costumes. We were getting some things that we knitted. We were having a blast. I got irritable when we got in the car and I realized we were in the store 45 minutes longer than I wanted to be. What was putting us 45 minutes behind. And then there was some traffic that added 10 minutes on. And we were now going to get to the park an hour later than I wanted. And that to me was like, oh my gosh, that was messing up my whole day because we were going to lose 1 hour at this park. It didn't matter. And honestly, when I stop and I look back at it, we had a great time. We had a great time at the store. The ride was really amazing. And the park was phenomenal. It was until it got time to leave. And then I had in my mind, we have to get to the car by this time. I have to get them food by this time. I have to get home by this time. I have to give them showers. I have to do all this to get them in bed. And I got out of sync again with the present moment. And that created irritability again. Did being irritable change anything? It absolutely did not. All it did was possibly slow us down because honestly, everything happened beautifully. We were home, showered, and in bed by about 8:15. Sooner than I thought we would be. So then I sat down with the grandkids and I said, get into bed. Because mommy and daddy are on vacation. So they're all with me. And this is my glory week. And I said, get into bed. And Dawson goes, even me, Nanny? I said, get your butt up in here into bed. And he did. And he was all happy. And I said, what was the best part of your day? And this is something Me and some friends of mine used to do, what was the best part of your day? And they both told me what they felt the best part of their day was. And I thought that was awesome. And you know what it was? The parade and the show towards the end of the day at Great America. It was that moment we finally stopped and we just enjoyed what was happening. And it was scary for the little ones and then exciting. And then I talked about what was going on. It became exciting again. And it was amazing. The funny thing is, when I asked them about what the bad part of the day is, I really thought they would say, not you being irritable. And both of them had a hard time thinking about what any bad part was. And I said, if it's Nani being irritable, that's okay, because that's Nani's bad part of the day. And they went, that wasn't the worst part of the day, Nani. But really, we can't think of anything that was bad. And it went to me, and I went, wait a second. The only person that was looking at this day as having issues was me. Because they looked at it like this was an amazing day because they were living the moment all the time. And it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot to start to really see life through those babies' eyes because they're not looking at later on today or tomorrow. They're in the experience of right now. And whatever I present them or they present with what's right now. And it's pretty cool. So now let's take this to the second part, because that's the first part, living in the moment. Stop projecting for tomorrow. Because quite frankly, retirement's going to happen whether you like it or not, whether you have enough money or not, who knows and who cares? Because I will tell you what, I don't know about you, but I was predicting a house wouldn't be more than $120,000, $130,000 and milk wouldn't go over $2.50 a gallon. Guess what? I still have about 15 years before I can technically retire, probably, because sure, retirement age is going to change. And houses, the minimum house has already doubled in price. So living for tomorrow is not going to help me because that's constantly going to change. All I can do is live for right now. Now let's switch that to the second part, life. Now I talk a lot about past lives. Okay, I do. Now I know I've done several past life regressions. Now I know I haven't even come close to hitting all of the past lives I've had. I've only done a few. To really resolve some issues I've had in this lifetime that I really have struggled with getting over. And honestly, I probably have to do a few more for a deeper understanding. One thing I've recognized is that the past lives I've had have all built upon the next one to bring me to this life. And it's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing. Why? Because I've had multiple lifetimes of being, sorry to tell you guys, a witch, an energy healer, a psychic medium, and lifetimes that it was none of that. Okay. I've had a lifetime, the last one, where I'm a leader. Church, it could be the leader of a country. Who knows? I didn't really get into that because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just means I had a very hectic life where people were constantly coming to me for direction. It was tiring. But when I look at my past lives, the ones I've been able to see, each one, I learned more to take into the next life and into the next life. And it's kind of like when you're looking at the present life, what are we doing in this present life? We're constantly building for what's the next step in this present life. We're building, again, for school and then in college and then after college and into our marrying years and our baby years and our retirement years and our dead time. And we're constantly looking towards tomorrow. But when we look into the soul level and you look into past lives, every lifetime builds upon the next. We're constantly learning stuff for the next life. We're experiencing for the next life. That's what we're doing. We're constantly evolving the soul, not for today and definitely not for the afterlife, guys. I mean, let's pull that back. It's for a different place in the afterlife. Because remember, you have to experience things here in order to have a little bit better experience there, to kind of get promoted, to go up a level. Okay? And I know that sounds really weird, guys. I know that sounds really weird because, the soul's not promoting. It's not getting a pay raise, anything like that. But it's going into evolution. It's understanding more. It's growing. It's building upon. More people come to me and they go, DeEtte, when did you know you were a psychic medium? And I'll tell you what, I'm actually writing a book on that right now because I didn't know. I didn't know. I can't even look at you now and tell you when I first knew. Honestly, I think I was born knowing. And I'm not going to say born seeing spirits and hearing the future and blah, blah, blah. But I will tell you I was born knowing. When I did my first reading, it shot out of my mouth so fast. I had no clue what I was doing. I was told to literally think about this and just go. And I did. And I've never, and y'all know I can talk fast, but I've never talked as fast as I did in that moment. 5 minutes of just ricocheting out my mouth. And the person that received it said they were blown away because, holy crap, we were like at end of beginners, beginning of intermediate. And it was just boom, out my face. And at that moment, all I could think was, how did that happen? Where did that come from? Nobody taught me to do that, really. Granted, I was in classes, but the classes were teaching me about the different senses. It had nothing to do with doing a reading. That was just a, let's see if we can do it moment. And here I was doing it. And it made me, I would pondered a lot over this because I've listened to people's stories and I've gone, they're all like, oh, I could see spirit, a little one. I get it. I get it. But where did that actually start? Not this lifetime. Not this one. So people would ask me about my story. When did I know I was a psychic medium? I was born knowing it. But honestly, I think my soul's been doing it a very long time. And every lifetime it builds upon the next time, builds upon the next time. And that's with everything. Because isn't it mind-blowing to look at our children that are born and see what they are? And that's one amazing thing that I listen to people a lot. I listen to my mother and her generation, and they will tell me children are not born the same way they weren't 70 years ago. Children are born knowing things. Children are born accepting things. Children of this generation are completely different than children of many other generations. Now, let's look at the possibility of why. If my theory and my experience of past lives are right, and we live multiple past lives, up until the generation of the 70-year-olds, the baby boomers, the souls, if you come back life after life, give yourself a couple of years and come back in, really we're experiencing a lot of the same things for quite a while. Horse and carriage, wooden houses, farming off the land, trading for goods. Life was simpler. Now let's look at those lives that either lived a very short time or were born and died shortly thereafter, or were born in the 20s or 30s and died at 2000. And now they're coming back in again. All these babies are coming back in again. They've all experienced the car, electricity, all of it. They've experienced these things. These things are in the soul. In those lifetimes, they realized and learned that truly anything is possible. Because even though my existence, I'll tell you what, in my lifetime, we don't look at anything as possible. Why? Because we really haven't done that much in my lifetime. We went from regular phones to cell phones. The man wasn't put on the moon in my lifetime. He was done before. Cars were already invented. So many things were already there. Have they improved upon them? Yes, they've improved. But we haven't had a whole lot of new boom to show you anything else is possible. We've kind of gotten in this whole idea that if it's possible, it would have already been invented. While we have scientists, inventors still inventing more things. And I truly believe that's why the generation being born right now is different. They see life different. Why? Because they're expanding upon that last soul. We're seeing the last soul existence show up in this lifetime. And that's a generation that's going to rock our worlds. Why? Because that's a generation that lived during that time of building things, of growing, of inventing. They lived it, they died, their souls understood it, and now they're coming back again. And we're going to see another boom of stuff happening, probably in the next 20 years. And that's when my generation gets to go, oh my God, isn't it cool? So many new things. And then when I come back, I'll have a new attitude. Why? Because I've grown. My soul has grown. My soul is looking to always be a better soul, deeper understanding, a deeper love, a deeper connection. That's what our souls do. So what if you started living your life for your soul, not for your pocketbook, not for a better house tomorrow or a safe retirement, but literally started living to increase the betterment of your soul? What do you think would happen then? I bet you would have more happiness in this lifetime. I think life would come together because you'd be present. You'd always be trying to be a better soul, not a better person, but a better soul. Why? Because if you know that you have 15 more lifetimes to go, and you want to literally do all you can in this lifetime for this soul's growth, so the next lifetime will even be better than this one, would you do it? I know I would. I think that's why I show up here every Monday morning, is to better my soul and maybe help you with yours a little bit. Because I don't talk about Bitcoin. I don't talk about history. I don't talk about that stuff. We talk about the soul. We talk about the growth of it and what's better for you every day. So think about that this week. Think about why you're here and truly what's going to make a better existence for your soul. It might change how you go through life. With that being said, guys, we're going to take a few minute station break, and when we come back, we'll do our 5-card stud. This is DeEtte, Go Through Spirit with the Edge Network.
Discover Strains of the Earth, your go-to destination for all things holistic. This family-owned dispensary in Jordan and Carver offers a curated collection of high-quality CBD products such as topicals, tinctures, and more. Their knowledgeable staff members can guide you with expert recommendations and responsible usage tips. Explore the selection at strainsoftheearth.com and enjoy convenient delivery right to your home. Strains of the Earth, saving the world with cannabis.
Join us at The Edge magazine, where enlightenment meets opportunity. As an advertiser, you'll reach a vibrant community of seekers and explorers eager to elevate their consciousness. Our full-color glossy publication, distributed to over 600 locations in US and Canada and reaching more than 100,000 readers annually, offers prime exposure to your holistic and metaphysical business, service, event, and products. Showcase your offerings with engaging articles and multi-page directory of practitioners. Connect with a discerning audience ready to embrace your unique contributions to their journey towards higher consciousness. Seize the opportunity to align your brand with the forefront of holistic exploration here, there, and everywhere. Contact sales at edgemagazine.net for more information about advertising options. Let's connect and explore how we can elevate your brand together.
Hey everybody, welcome back to School Through Spirit here at DeEtte on the Edge Network. If you have not watched the rest of the shows on the Edge Network, We're Small But Mighty, or Gone and Got an Edge Magazine, something you may want to do. You're missing out. So guys, let's go into our cards. It is the Elemental Oracle by Stacey Demarco, artwork by Kinga Britchigi, totally massacred that. And this is a Rockwell publication. Now, I will tell you what, Stacey Demarco is another person I really like. And I am learning to really love a lot of different people, creators of decks. And what I'm finding is I'm blown away by how many people create decks or multiple decks. I'm just like, oh, I mean, I thought we had Doreen Virtue and Colette Baron Reed were our main ones. And I'm finding out they really aren't. I mean, they got a lot, but there's a lot of people that have a lot, and they're amazing and they're phenomenal. And I love that. I love that. So let's get this open so I can read the back. And it says, our ancestors harnessed the power of earth, air, fire, and water, lunar and solar, and the four directions. All of these have been key parts of the pagan and witchcraft traditions for millennium. Now we add the alchemy of the science, from the smallest atom to the greatest sun, from magnetism to electricity, from the fiercest storm to the stillest of gravity. Now you can connect into this power, weaving of the magic. Oh my God. I love this. I really do. I really do. Won't even lie. You know what? It's sad though, because I think that's where we're going. Things that used to be magical. Oh, look at that. Very Norse. Things that we used to look at as magical, now we can prove as science. And I'm like, oh, that really sucks. Because sometimes I think it takes, oh, that's really cool. Sometimes I think that takes literally the fun out of a lot of things. But what I love about it is at this point in life, when in our world, in our time, we think we've discovered it all, there's still a little magic left over somewhere. So until they figure out how to change that too. There is a little card in here for downloading. Of course, it's the Rockpool. I love that Rockpool puts this into every deck. We have a nice little book here. I do think, well, I might have to use the book a little bit, guys. Don't want to, but you know, it's pretty simple. It has like the name of the card. It does depth on the card. It tells us a little bit about that. And that's word of power, profundable, which is cool. And then the element of the card. I think this is pretty awesome. I'm really excited about this. It does obviously have a few, you know, the standard book, how to read the cards. The whole 10 yards is in here. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I'm not going to complain about it. So let's get into shuffling here, guys. I love it. It's also got it on the backs, which I love. Oh, look at silver. Oh. I love it when they do that. I really do. It's so pretty. And so many go in gold. So having that silver is just pretty. So 5-card stud, guys. How do we play 5-card stud? 5-card stud is your reading. You get to pick one card, 2 cards, all 5 cards. I don't really care. It's your reading. I'm going to pick 5 different cards here. I am going to look at them. I'm going to obviously probably look at the book because just has like the name and the moon or something. So we're going to look at the book for a little bit of expansion this week. Although the artwork is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. There is a ton in there. And I'm always big on looking at artwork and what's going on with that card. But I honestly want to look at a little bit more, see what their expansion is. So again, pick 1 card through 5. 1, 2, all of them if you want, or you can wait, because when I'm done reading each card individually, I do put them together as reading 5 cards in a row. If you have multiple issues, feel free to write them down. Obviously, that's more of next week, unless you can do that really quick. And you can have multiple readings for some guidance for multiple different issues. Ready? We've been playing 5-card stud for what, 5 years now, something like that? Oh my gosh. My gosh, who would have thought I have been on the radio for like 5 years now? Oh my gosh, just past 5 years. It's craziness. It's craziness. Hasn't it evolved? It's shortened. It's shortened. I don't even like to do the interviews anymore. I love to get out and chat with people. I don't like doing the interviews. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Okay, let's get this down. So card number 1. Picked 2 cards. Card number 1 is water. Ooh, I kind of like this lady. I like this lady a lot. Oh my gosh, look at how amazing she is. I love that card. Water. Let's look at what they're looking at that. And it says water and it says creation. Okay. I think I could probably go off that enough, but let's see what she's got to say. It says, flow forward with grace and confidence. Be true to your emotions. Do not allow yourself to become stagnant in your ways. Creation is your birthright. Consider what is vital to your happiness. Ensure that you seek it. Pretty much what I was thinking. So when we're looking at this card, the water, the creation card, you know, I love the fact that they got this old lady on there with this gorgeous hair. We can't tell if it's white or if it's blonde or who really cares, right? But it is about the flowing. Look at, she's got the water. Water flows. Her hair is flowing. The birds are flowing. All this flowing is going on. But constantly, guys, we don't look at life that way. We make things hard is what we do. And when you're picking card number 1, it tells me that you've been looking at things to solve things and you've been putting way too much effort into it. You've been putting too much thought, too much effort. You've not been letting anything just flow and just happen. And it's time for you to do that. Think of it being solved and putting out there that's going to solve itself however it's going to solve, and then go with the flow of it. Trust that that's going to happen. When you put too much thought into it, it doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't work. So, and I could have thought about that yesterday much better than I did. Card number 2 is voice. Speaking your word. Speaking your word. Now, I'm going to tell you, this card is telling me all about your inner truth. All about your inner truth. Again, go to yourself. If you pick card number 2, it's time for you to look inward and bring that out. Okay. So often in life, we don't do that. We keep our mouth shut. We keep our truth to ourselves shut. Now, this does not mean going around the world and telling everybody to piss off. No, that's not what this card is about. It's about using your voice to express who you are. It's about going inward and going, who am I? Learning who you are. And then creating a voice around that. You are going to find you are going to solve more issues between yourself and somebody else if you learn to who you are here and then express that. So learn to use your voice. That's card number 2. I like that card. I do. I really do like that card. Card number 3 is air. Motion. Oh my gosh. Look at the power of that card, guys. The power and the chaos, all of it. Look at it. It's beautiful. When you look at this, it's very powerful. It's these beautiful horses running, but don't they look like they're kind of going in different directions? It's kind of amazing to me, but they're not trampling each other. They're just creating more energy around them. And that's what motion's about. So if you're picking this card, if you pick card number 3, it's about moving forward, moving sideways, moving backwards. It's about movement. Okay. Again, you're sitting in a place where you feel stuck. You don't know if you're coming or going. You don't know how to get through it. You're going, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this? I feel stuck. It's about movement. It really is movement within your life, making that movement happen. Doesn't mean you have to go forward. It doesn't. Look at anybody, or if you've ever gotten intoxicated in your life, what do? 1 step forward, 2 steps back, a foot to the side, and 4 more forward. You know what I mean? But eventually you get to where you need to be. You get to where you need to be. Okay? And I know, poor example, but it's the truth. In order to get unstuck, you need to have movement. And it doesn't matter which way you're going. It's just going. And who's to say going sideways a little bit is not going to give the answer for you to move forward. or going back a few steps and going, let's look at this from a different angle to move forward. And that's what that card's about. So start to get some movement. Okay. Card number 5 is snow. Snow. Snow really is the most silent thing I think out there. Silent is saying, if you pick card number 4, it's time to quiet. It's time to quiet your mouth. It's time to quiet your mind. And it's time to be. And that's what card number 4 is about. If you pick this, it's time for you to take some moments this week for yourself to just be. Don't think about all the things happening. Don't think about your problems. Don't think about all the things you're grateful for. It's just being, sitting in that space. Know that when you put yourself in that space, what's going to happen? But information is going to come in. Ideas are going to show up that you may never have thought about before. But you need to sit in silence to get those. And the last card of the day is North, which is expansion. Expansion. Look at that card. Look at how it's just blowing up. But it's blowing up around and up and everywhere, every direction it's going. So if you pick card number 5, you're going to start to push out a little bit more. You finally gone through the place of being stuck. You're unstuck. And then it's going to start to move. And things are going to be bigger, aka better, the way we like to look at things. It just means you're going to be pushing out and able to do more. You're going to get it. And life is going to feel like it's a little bit better. Because again, you're kind of getting a reward, because what did you want to do but to expand? Whatever it is you might want to look at. So card number 1 was creation. Card number 2 is speaking your word. Card number 3 is motion. Card number 4 is silence. And card number 5 is expansion. And when I'm looking at these cards, this is going to be of what the heck? What the heck? Why? Because we have really, finding out who you are here. You're going to be looking in here this week. You're going to be looking a little bit deeper, a little bit more, and you're going to allow that to start happening. You're going to get out of that space. You're going to start to create. You're going to start to move. Okay? And as you do that, things are going to start happening. They're going to start happening. But make sure you take those moments to stop and get the messages coming in. Why? Because that's going to help you moving forward. When you get stuck, when you stop, when you start to grow, you start to go, oh my God, I'm going to stop listening to my higher self. And you get stuck again. So you get this movement, stop, movement, stop, movement, stop. That's not this week. This week is about movement. Take a few minutes, let it come in, get some more, and keep going. And by this recipe, this week may be your biggest creation week, because you really put it all together finally. So I hope you like these cards as much as I did. Holy crap. Amazing cards. I love it. Again, it is the Elemental Oracle by Stacey Demarco. Stacey Demarco. I really do like these cards a lot. Oh my gosh, guys. This is a deck for, to make things happen. I like this deck. I like this deck. Do you know what happens this week? This week, I go through all the decks. Over the last 8 weeks. And I go, which one are we going to put into the next issue? Because we've done 8. So it's going to be interesting. So next week starts a brand new series of 8. And I love that. I love that for us. So where am I going to be this week? Iowa. I'm in Ames, Iowa, with Traveler's Moon. And I believe it is 2601 East 13th Street, Ames, Iowa. It is at the Quality Inn Convention Center there. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. I know I've looked this up somewhere. I just need to go, where have I been at? I want to give you the name. I do know it's Traveler's Moon. I like how I give you the address and I go, oh my gosh, what else am I doing in my life? So we are in Ames, Iowa. I give in the address and the place. It is the Psychic and Paranormal Expo. It is their 13th annual year doing this. And I will tell you what, each one gets better than the last. I praise these. Kelly and her mom Pat do these. I know Chris helps a little bit here and there, which is Kelly's husband, but it is primarily Kelly and Pat. They are a mother-daughter dynamic duo. They have an amazing show. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm always so thrilled to go back and see everybody there. So super excited. I've not been in Ames for a while, so that's super awesome. Next week, I'm in Watersweet, Michigan with Soul and Synergy, and we'll talk more about that next week. Oh, me too, Lee. Me too. With that being said, guys, we're going to give you a break. We're going to say goodbye. And we'll see you next Monday morning here on School Through Spirit with the Edge Network, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
There are psychic mediums, but there is nothing like DeEtte. Let's face it, we all struggle time and again. But if you seek the clarity you deserve, then you need to seek DeEtte. As a master teacher, DeEtte studied under international psychic medium Lisa Williams. Together, they not only help DeEtte better tap into spirit, but also build a long-lasting relationship. So many psychics tell us what we want to hear, and that just won't cut it with DeEtte. She tells you what you need to hear. No sugarcoating here. To book a reading with DeEtte is simple. Just visit her website, DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us. And follow the Yellow Brick Road to connect with DeEtte. Don't just sit there and ponder those questions. Ask them and let DeEtte guide you every step of the way. You need insight now, and DeEtte can help. Just visit DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us.